Hi, this is Joe from M Software. We have a new InData out, and that new InData has a new Pro version, and I am really excited about InData Pro because it now supports real tables and it supports inline anything, inline groups, inline text frames, inline anchored objects, anything. Let's take a quick look at some of these new features. InData's always been able to build tables, kind of, sort of. It's been able to build table-like structures using tabs and paragraph rules and shading and all of that type of thing. And you could actually build some nice tables, but when you haven't end up with a table like this one here, where, for example, either column can have any number of rows in it, the coding for that could get kind of complex. This table was built with InData, and the coding for this thing actually looks like this. A little bit yuck, and it works dandy. Here, I'll blow this all away. Delete. And we'll import again. InData, import from file. It'll build a real nice little table. Import, go. And, InData does its magic and looks good, but again, yuck. Let's look at what the prototype now would look like with InData Pro. My prototype sitting right here on the pasteboard, ready to go. That's it. If we look at this, make it a little bigger so you can see, I'm just saying if the category changes, I'm putting in my little header and then put in a little fragment for my for each record. It can be that simple, but InData can do a lot more with tables. But let's see what this one actually builds. I'll say InData, use this story as the prototype. We'll import our data. We'll import that very same data. Say open. And we have a really nice table. And this time, it actually is a table. And what would you rather do? Something like this or something like that? You can do amazing things with tables. You can do real headers, real footers. Continued heads are possible, subheads, images within the cells, any number of columns. It's really, really powerful. Check that out. Let's look at the anchored everything bits. This is a very, very simple example right here. I'm just importing an anchored image frame, which we've been able to do all along, but also, look, I've got a text frame anchored along with it. This is, again, really, really simple, but just look what we can do. I'll say import from file. Let's bring in this one. Go. That one little object created some fun little pages. With that text frame coming along and everything resizing nicely and going wherever it needed to go without having to thread lots and lots of frames. We've always been able to build really complex, fun little layouts. Like this will build a nice, complex layout, but look at what we used to have to do on our master pages. We used to have to thread all of those frames together, and even in our prototypes, we had to do lots and lots and lots of threading. And it worked just fine. We can say InData, let's import this file, and I'll just bring in a few of them. Why not just bring 4? Demo data, open that up, and looks nice. But again, we have to do all that work in the background and all that work over here. With InData Pro, it becomes this simple. Let's say use this story as prototype now. And notice here, I just have my object in here as an inline object, just one of them. And actually, I'm being a little bit tricky in this because I'm using custom anchoring so that all my objects will flip because I want it to go depending on which side of the page it's on. So you can actually do fun things with anchored objects within anchored objects and all that stuff. Like I said, anchored everything. InData, import from file. Let's just bring some data into this. And we've got some really nice little pages being built with all kinds of inline everything. This one is kind of combining all of that. In this prototype I have here on the left, what I have is if my series changes, I want to put in all of this stuff up at the top. I've got an inline group with my series name and series code, but also I've got an image and I have a little text frame with some InData code in it because you can have sub-prototypes in there so that it's bringing in my logos if they're present and not bringing them in if they're not. And then when the series isn't changing, it's bringing in the record data. And for each record, I'm bringing in a little group object here. That's an image and a couple of text frames, and I've got little bits of prototype code in there to bring those in. So with InData Pro, you can actually do fun things like this. Let's bring that in. Faucets demo data. And again, just bringing that into a nice open master spread. No threaded anything. All of that's coming in as nice inline objects. And with InData Pro, let's undo that. I'm even in this next one, I'm kind of combining things. I've got my inline objects when my series changes up here, but then I'm bringing in a table beneath that. So I'm combining anchored everything and tables at the same time. Use story as prototype. Now let's bring in our data. Import from file. Faucet demo data. So now I'm bringing in inline objects with sub-prototypes in it, tables, the whole 9 yards. It's amazing what you can do with InData Pro. Definitely check it out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Feel free to shoot us an email saying, is this possible? How can we do this? We're here to help. Enjoy InData Pro.